give a little shout out to the director of this episode, Gio Dominguez. Gio, how do you feel directing this episode?
Good.
What's your experience at the festival?
It's been fun so far.
I appreciate you being behind the camera, directing. You're producing this episode here?
I am.
What's it like to have your friend Anna here?
I'm so proud of this one. She's a hard worker, and I'm very proud of her.
Thank you for encouraging me to come.
Of course. This is what creative gods do. Remember, look. Remember, we're film gods.
Oh my goodness.
Film gods. I don't know this.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Prepare for takeoff.
You're now listening to Stepner Show.
We're here at the Palm Springs Art Museum. The official Latino Film Festival is underway. We're here in this beautiful theater.
Thrilled to be working with Danny Hastings.
Tonight is the 8th annual official Latino Film and Arts Festival. It's one of the only film festivals that focuses primarily on American Latino films and filmmakers.
Hello.
We're here supporting the awesome Latino power that we have.
This is going to be the best turnout.
Family over fame.
Really cool to be with like-minded people, right? I think that's very important.
Latinos need to work together in order to make sure that we are represented well. If we don't get to work together, it's over, you know? There's
Correct.
always going to be somebody else telling our stories.
If you're not seen on screen, you don't know you can do it.
Every year the films get better and better and better.
I'm impressed. I'll be here next year.
Go big or go home.
Thank you so much for opening your house and welcoming us.
I found Danny. He's on the step and repeat, looking fly. I realized that my own style is sort of modeled after Daniel Hastings. Daniel Hastings and I go way back to New York. We met a long time ago, and he was one of the guys that I really look up to. But he also was one of the few people that really gave me space to shine. What inspired you to make this festival?
To be honest with you, what inspired me was the lack of representation in front of the TV, in front of in movies. We were at that point 4% Latino representation, right? And with a community that is 20% in the country, and with a community that 20% buys 30% of the movie tickets, to have 4% representation was dismal. How are we going to change that? And I think that by supporting American Latino talent here in the United States is the only way that we're going to make that paradigm shift.
Why Palm Springs Art Museum?
Because they love us, baby.
And this is the 8th annual Official Latino?
Yes.
What is it about this festival that stands out, and why is it different than the ones before?
Well, very different. Once we're at a beautiful venue of Palm Springs Art Museum, which offers a partnership for 3 years. So to have an institution backing us up and basically understanding, right, what we're doing and our mission is beautiful, because we were kind of like a Rolling Stone before this, right? And now that we have an institution backing us up, it's the time to take it to the next phase. There's a Latino wave coming, bro. I don't know if you feel it. There's a Latino wave coming. We have the #1 Netflix series called Wednesday, with all Latinos leading, bro. So I think after that, it's like y'all better have your stuff ready, because they're gonna be looking for us very soon.
Very busy night here at Official Latino Film Festival. We just heard from Danny opening statements, and we're gonna check out a couple movies, see what's happening. We're gonna get deeper into the story of Daniel Hastings here in Palm Springs Art Museum. Very excited to be here. I've actually never been inside this theater before, but being in a theater before a movie is an experience that we didn't have for a while, and it's actually my favorite thing to do on a Friday night. We're having a great time here at Official Latino Film Festival. Had an opportunity to meet some filmmakers, sit in the cinema, see some films. They're really, really great. There's a movie called Toro de Oro that I got to see on the big screen. It was really moving. Had a chance to talk to the director and the star. So here is Pedro and Rogelio talking about Toro de Oro.
The film is called Toro de Oro, which is Golden Bull. It represents the value of like the what we need to do to like move forward. We either choose fame or we choose family.
It's a balance that I'm still trying to find, living far away from my family, from my daughter and my parents, being out in LA, but it's something you have to do. It's not a choice.
For me, I felt that this movie was the perfect movie for me to watch with what's going on in my life right now, with work and family, and I just found myself resonating with your movie and the elegance and the pronouncement of family for me. Where did you come up with this idea?
So this idea was mainly, it was a collaboration with me and the main actor and co-writer, Rogelio Camarillo Jr. He's here actually too. It was mainly about, we wanted to take a film, tell a film about a matador, but not so much about like the bullfighting. We wanted to make it about family, not so much about like the luxury and the elegance of being a bullfighter and the blood and all that nonsense that some people are against, you know, and some people are for it because of culture.
What was that experience like in playing El Matador in a movie like that?
It was a beautiful experience. It was a bit of a dream come true, I have to be honest with you.
We just wanted to like really focus on like inner struggle of a person being in a position of like either quitting because you got hurt in the last fight and hasn't been long since you got hurt, or just like continuing fighting for what you love, which is bullfighting in this case with Valentin. He wanted to like continue, but he wasn't ready mentally. He thought it was like only physically where you had to go out there and fight this bull. But little did he know that he needed to fight himself first before going out there and fight this bull.
I did what I had to do, follow my dreams, and I'm still following them, you know?
I wouldn't be at the festival without the encouragement of my friend and collaborator, Carmerelli Rodriguez, who encouraged me to come to the film festival. And I had a chance to meet up with her and catch up and talk about what's it like to be in the room, networking, and see what words of wisdom Carmerelli has.
We're just here supporting the awesome Latino power that we have, you know, all these awesome, amazing little indies that we have. And I'm just here to have a good time. I'm here to support my fucking awesome friend Anna because she's nominated for Best Actress in a little webisode she did. So I'm like...
I have never been to this festival. What's your experience being here?
I've never been here. This is my first time.
Oh, we're both first timers.
We're different timers. No, like I've never been here, and this is great. There's so many talent here, and like I said, like I'm here to support the Latinos. I'm Latina, I'm Boricua, and I love to see how fucking talented we are. And Dominican too. And Dominican, that's right here, Dominican power. So yeah, you know, so I'm impressed. I'll be here next year.
In addition to Carmerelli, there's a fellow thespian and film god who is nominated for Best Actor. Ana Marta is here for Frustrada, and we're going to also sit with her and talk to her for a second and hear what she's got to say about her experiences at the festival as a nominee and a filmmaker.
We are here supporting fellow Latino filmmakers, not just Latino filmmakers, but everyone that submitted films to the Official Latinos Network, and supporting and showcasing. I'm here to showcase my comedy, Frustrada.
Yes, I see your badges. You're a thespian and a film god, so you are also the creator and star of Frustrada. Tell us, what's Frustrada about?
Well, Frustrada is about a Latina chef who moves to LA, and she uses the ingredients of life to open a restaurant, manage her mental health. So she's trying to find love in the big city. So the first episode is about she has a particular situation that she's frustrated with, and she takes matters into her own hands to solve this situation.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to give it away because you need to go watch it.
And where can people watch it right now?
Well, they can watch it on the Official Latino website. Block 2, guys. Block 2. Please watch and vote for Frustrada.
And tell us about what's your experience been like being here at the festival as a thespian and a film god?
Oh, it's been fantastic. I mean, I've only been here like one or 2 days, and I've already met so many great folks, making connections, talking about the state of filmmaking, not just for Latinos, for everyone. But it's just really cool to be with like-minded people, right? I think that's very important. And as people of color, we need to support one another. So it's been fantastic.
I feel you're here not to just entertain folks, but to heal their souls. Like your work has a particular gravitas. And what is it about creativity that fuels you to create a well-examined life?
Oh, great question. I honestly just want to... Everything that I write comes from a point of personal experience. So I just want to share my pain with the world and let people know that they're not alone, that we're all in this together. So it's always, I come from a place of truth, at least the truth that I feel. And just take that into the world and share that with everyone, because we're all hurting. To a degree, I feel that we're all hurting. So if I could put a smile on your face one day or just make you think differently for one moment, I think I've done my job, right? So, I mean, I need to heal myself first, boy, before I heal other people, but yeah, I'll take the title.
Well, thank you very much, Ana Marte. Everybody, Ana Marte.
Did you record that guy over there? He's pretty famous.
Pepe Serna?
Yeah.
Got him already.
Good. Awesome. That's great. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Any last words before I gotta get to the airport, but
oh man, it's
gotta give you a hug.
Can you give me in with Pepe Serna real quick?
Yeah, let's do it, bro. Okay, we got a special request. Danny Hastings is coming in with Pepe Serna. Oh my God, this is exciting. A little Pepe Serna special. What's it like to be here at the official Latino Film Festival?
It's great. I live down here in the Coachella Valley now, and I've known Danny Hastings for several years now. And to have my documentary, this is going to be the best turnout. We've been all over the country this year to 10 different festivals. And it's been, it's been really great.
And all the festivals that you've been to, how is this festival different?
It's great, because the great thing about this festival is that it's only one theater, so people aren't going to a bunch of different theaters having to make choices. You're only at one, so you can concentrate and just be at that and see everything. If you're here for the whole day, you can, you see the new talent. I got to see the young filmmakers that did the shorts yesterday, and it's been phenomenal to be that. And I wish we got to find a way to get all the students to know about it, and a way to get them tickets to come and see it, because it's not just to become filmmakers; it's for anything that they want to do in their life. This is proof, because if you're not seeing on screen, then you don't know you can do it.
Touché.
You know, and that's the thing why.
And speaking of, when I was young, I saw you on screen doing your thing. And
what was the first one you saw?
Cara Cicatriz.
Oh, okay. Can you say that in English?
Scarface. That's the only time they say Scarface in the movie, but it's in Spanish.
Oh.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of conversations about Latinos in film, today versus yesterday. And what's been like the most important thing that us as creators can be conscious of when we're creating work?
Is that we have to get the audience to become really good at social media. And when you don't like something, you have to comment on it. You have to share it and get people to share it so it can go viral, so it can get, otherwise nobody knows we're here.
Exactly.
And we complain, why aren't we in movies? Because our own people, we go to the movies more than anybody, but it's not our movies they come to. They go see all the blockbusters.
Yes.
And because they don't know that we're here.
Exactly.
They don't know that we have so many filmmakers. And it's important that people find out and start appreciating that. And
you mentioned the documentary. What would you say? What can you tell the audience about your documentary? What's it about?
It's the story of it's my life that I've been an actor since I was 3. That I knew, just in my hometown in Texas. Not that I was making movies or TV or anything. I was a performer, and so I had the apoyo, the support of my family and friends, and I knew I was I knew I was an actor, and so it was like just having that confidence of doing it. You think you're ready, and then you're not even as trained as if you're born in New York, then you study theater and you do it the right way.
I'm from Texas, so that.
What part?
Laredo, San Antonio.
Laredo.
Yeah.
My family's from Laredo.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm from Corpus. Yeah.
Oh my God.
My uncle is started a Falcon Bank.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know that bank. My friend works there.
Yeah. Well, and my uncle was an electrician.
Nice.
And I don't know, because I was gone. I don't know when that came, that he went from being an electrician and kind of a motorhome to working it into creating a bank.
Oh my goodness.
which I'm sure his wife had a lot to do with it.
As two boys from Texas, it's so great to see you again. I've seen you a few times throughout this crazy endeavor of the world of spectacles. Any closing comments of how we can use creativity to find a well-examined life?
Just by showing what we're doing, not that other kids are going to want to be actors, but they realize that, yeah, I can do whatever it is that I want to do. They have a dream, the same like I have a dream, and whatever it is, you have to work for it. Yeah, it's really, really interesting. Like my friend Roberto Sanchez has a film tomorrow, but he can tell you more about it. But he was a professional. He had different, I forget, firefighter or something.
I was in the Navy. I was a police officer.
Police officer.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, and then he got into film, and then he's one of the very, very best. And I'm not just saying that because he's here. Him and his friend Oscar Torre, another Cubano. Do you know Oscar? You've probably seen him. See?
I met him a few times too.
You have, okay.
Yes.
So,
oh my God, it's such a pleasure to see you again.
Likewise.
Congratulations on the documentary.
Thank you.
And break a leg, sir.
Thank you. And we'll talk afterwards.
Yes.
See what you think.
Can you give us a name for the...
Roberto Sanchez.
Okay, Roberto, tell us, what are you doing here today at the Official Latino Film Festival?
Well, obviously I'm here to celebrate Pepe Serna, who is making a special appearance, and got a chance to work with him several years ago, so it's very exciting. And then I've got a film that screens tomorrow at 4 o'clock. It's called Testimony.
Oh, wow, congratulations. And what's your film about?
It's a thriller, psychological piece. You have to see it because it's just so out there that. But it's been doing very well in the festival circuit. Last night it won Best Short at the Culver City Film
congratulations!
Festival.
Are you
so
in it?
I'm the lead actor.
Oh, nice! Yeah. Congratulations!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! And what's it like for you to be here at this Official Latino Film Festival?
It's great. I think what Danny does in trying to give us all a platform for us to show our films. I met him a couple of years ago where I showed my first short that I directed called The Terms of Us. I won Best Actor in that as well. So he just gives us an opportunity to show our work. And that's what we need, man. We just need people to see our work and come out and support us, support these festivals, and just helps tell our stories.
And how is this festival different from any festival you've been to?
I think what I like about this one is la unidad de los Latinos. You know what I mean? In the sense that we all come out. I would love to see that same energy for some of the other ones. It just doesn't happen, you know what I mean? But with this one, everybody always just shows up, and it's a big family. And what Danny's doing, it's just great work.
When you come to these events, there's people behind the camera capturing content. As a behind-the-scenes person myself, I want to highlight we're here with Rome. Rome, how's it going tonight?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Tell us, doing well, man. Where are you at tonight?
We're at the 8th Annual Film Festival, Palm Springs, California, the Art Museum, and yeah, we're just here working everything out,
And what's it like for you to be shooting during the film festival?
We got the BCC Club, which is basically something that focuses on all artists, and this is what we kind of built the club for. So, coming to something like this really kind of like it highlights everything that we do. We do everything from music to fashion to film, but this is something we do with Danny every year, and this is like our highlight. It just encompasses everything that we do, and we get to show the films. We get to show our work behind the scenes, and this is what we're really about. What we like. This is what we're about over here.
And what's it like to be in Palm Springs, bringing content to people?
This is different. We did at Coachella Valley before. We did at Palm Desert. This is the first time in Palm Springs. It's really nice, a beautiful spot, man. So, yeah, we're really enjoying our time.
One of the things about film festivals for me that I really love is that you get to meet different people from different walks of life. And it's a really great experience because you never know if you're going to work with these people or if they're going to be your audience. So I'm grateful to be here. We're going to take one last look at the theater and see what else we can find. We're walking into the theater now. Hey, Mr. Daniel Hastings.
1 2 1 2.
One,
good?
two, 1, 2. Sounds
All right.
great. Yes.
All right. Daniel Hastings. Oh my goodness, thank you for having us. It's such a pleasure to be here. And for people watching and listening, tell us, where are we at?
Wow, man, Goose. First and foremost, man, you've been a good friend for so many years. So and I've seen you during your podcast. So thank you for having me also here, right, amongst the eclectic and incredible artists that you have, right? So I feel privileged. We're at the backstage of the Official Latino Film and Arts Festival, the 8th annual Official Latino Film Festival at the very prestigious Palm Springs Art Museum.
Oh my goodness. For people who don't know, I met you like 20 years ago back in New York. As people can see, I modeled some of my style after Daniel Hastings. You're a photographer, you're a filmmaker, you're an actor. I've seen you work, I've worked with you, and just seeing you like come from New York and coming here to the community. Like now you're a man of community bringing a film festival. What's it like to be the founder of Official Latino Film Festival?
Well, you know, something like, you know, somebody like me, well, I don't plan things, you know. I don't know, like, I'm an artist that creates out of you know, impulse and whatever is coming in, like my feelings, my emotions. I'm in touch with the community a lot. I mean, even back in the days when me and you were working, you know, I was always pushing for, you know, Latino representation behind the camera with, you know, Ben de Jesus, Diamante, all of that. I was always that guy, right? That it was like Latinos need to work together in order to make sure that we are represented well. If we don't get to work together, it's over, you know? There's
Correct.
always gonna be somebody else telling our stories, right? So from day one, I was very aware of the need that our community needs to step in and work to this. So to answer your question, that's been with me from day one, right? About 8 years ago, I finished my second feature that I couldn't get funding for, right? Or distribution. So I was very frustrated in a time and a place where I'm like, you know, a lot of networks are telling me my films are either too Latino or not Latino enough, right? There's always something. There was always something, right? For the American market, it was too Latino. For the Latino market, we're not Latino enough. Why? Because my films are American Latino, right? We're speaking English, you know, we're from the Bronx, we're from Hialeah, we're from Tucson, Arizona, we're from East LA, right? Second, third generation of Latinos, you know, we're going to write and direct what our community is going through at the moment. But it seemed like the industry wasn't really, they didn't really want it, that, right? They wanted the same old, right? And what I mean that is that, you know, the Spanish-driven networks want the stories from our countries, you know what I mean? And they're the ones kind of running the industry. And the English networks are looking at what the Spanish networks are doing, and they think that's what we want, right?
So the idea of ni de aquí ni de allá, which is not from here or there, it transcends to the media.
Exactly. But I will say, you know, even further, it's not that ni de aquí ni de allá. Somos de aquí y de allá también.
Hey.
You know what I mean? So we gotta own it. We're from both. We got it. You know, and the thing is that we have to start understanding is that we are the ones here that are pivoting and creating a paradigm shift of what we want to see, right? And I knew that very early. I'm like, I'm not connecting with telenovelas. I'm not connecting with what our countries, you know, are doing for us because they don't speak to us, right? I'm connecting more with what the African American community is doing, right? Because they're really pioneering film for diversity and inclusion. And I was like, if that was American Latino too, that could work.
Right, especially with your background. I mean, 90s, everybody knows 90s hip hop is the best hip hop, and you were right in the middle of that mix, shooting some of the greatest album covers, working with the biggest artists of the time.
I was
And
in the action.
yeah,
I was
like,
in the action, bro.
And how did that influence your trajectory to all the way being here?
Hip hop raised me, bro. Like, you know, I come from listening to groups like Public Enemy, Boogie Down Productions, the Wu-Tang Clan, and what I learned about, you know, that hip hop cohort is that, you know, it's all for one and one for all. That's the basis of that community.
And that's why that community is so successful.
Exactly, and I was included in that all for one and one for all. They didn't see me as like, oh no, you're Latino. No, I was part of the brotherhood. I am part of the brotherhood. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, let's bring that into here. The problem that we have in our community, to be honest with you, and then what I recognized right away was the nationalistic part that we bring from our countries. Los dominicanos no se llevan con los puertorriqueños no se llevan con los cubanos no se llevan con los mexicanos, los colombianos no se llevan con los venezolanos. What the hell is that shit about, bro?
My friend Ana Marta last night was talking about how the Latino community is very tribal.
Right.
And that's what divides us.
But that's the old school mentality. I think the new school mentality is, you know, and more the people that embrace Latinx, you know, we're not seeing that separation here. You're my brother, bro. She's my sister. You know what I mean? Like, we are here together because we understand what prejudice looks like and feel it, you know, when we're not really invited to the room to write our own stories, to direct our own stories. How many Latino movies are there directed by white people, bro? A lot. You know what I mean? And the reason is always like, well, there's not enough Latino directors, or there's not enough Latino writers, but you're not inviting us in the room. You know, you're always deciding or have this idea of what we want to see, and then when you produce garbage that we don't want to see, right? That we don't want to see, then you think that, oh, Latinos don't really support
then
this stuff.
They consider it as failure.
Exactly, right? So it's things that that the industry thinks that they, you know, because partly, you know, I blame also Spanish-speaking networks. Because Spanish-speaking networks are basically a multi-million-dollar industry, right? That talks to the English American network, and they think that that's what we want to see.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Right now, if you look at the numbers, bro, the numbers right now, out of the 60 million Latinos that are in the United States, right, 40 million are American. Actually, 45 million are American, right? 15 million are immigrant, right? So what is that? How's that 15 million running our industry?
Dang. So if these are the problems that you see in the landscape, and from what you're seeing here with the festival, what do you think the solution to that is?
The solution is inviting the American Latino cohort to start writing, directing, and producing the films that we want to see here. So that's the solution. So I mean, look at right now. Look at Netflix. Netflix wasn't afraid to put a whole Latino cast in front of Wednesday Addams. A whole Latino cast.
With a big established director like Tim Burton.
Exactly.
And
right? And Tim Burton wasn't afraid. He's like, you know what? American Latinos, we are the shit.
Yeah.
And we have to start owning that. Like, yeah, man, we are the next wave and what's coming.
And now they're the #1 show on Netflix history.
#1 show. Now we you know, and I'm so proud. I mean, I've been a fan of little Jenny Ortega because my kids are her age. So when they were watching her in Disney, you know, and all those little kids, I was like, who is this little Latinita, you know, making me laugh, you know what I mean? And I was like, this little girl, you know what I mean? And my kids will watch her, and they felt identified with her, you know what I'm saying? So, and then she's so smart because she's speaking like that. She's like, you know, I'm just so proud that I'm Latina and I'm representing Latina, you know, and bro, that's what we need to all, you know, let's be proud of, you know, of our heritage. Latino directors were told back in the days not to hire Latino actors because their films were not gonna get seen. That's what they were told.
That's what happened to us.
Exactly, right? So you will see Latino directors with an all-white cast and an all-white movie and try to find And I don't blame the Latino directors, you know, because they were just kind of trying to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? They were just trying to like get their budgets approved and all that stuff. But it's a different wave, bro. It is a different wave. I'm so happy that we're here. We're at the forefront of the community blowing up. And in the next 5 years, bro, all these networks, if you're not a network that is actually giving us a space, you're going to lose out.
Oh, my goodness.
You're going to lose out. You're going to lose out. We spend more money than black and white people in the movie theaters.
I believe that.
Right?
I mean,
So this is a fact. This is a fact. 20%, we're 20% of the population. We buy 30% of the movie tickets. That is that is a national, the Motion Picture Association of America stat.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So
I did not know that.
yeah, if we're spending more money in the movie theaters, right, and we don't see ourselves in the movie theaters, that means that we are canceling ourselves out.
Oh, God, that hurts in a different way.
Right? So I'm telling the Latino community, if you don't see yourself in the movie theaters, don't go to the movie theaters. Only go and see what we're doing and see how it's going to change, because the power is in the community. That's when it's going to change. That when they see like, oh, wait a second, Latinos are waking up, right? How is it that the white African American community, even Asian community, they're represented to the numbers that go along with the demographic.
Because they're all united.
Right? So there's 13 to 14% of African Americans in the United States, and that reflects on the representation. 13%, 14% representation in front of the cameras, right? And behind the cameras too. How is it that we're 20% and it was only 4% in front of the cameras, and 2%, and half of that is stereotypes? How is that? How are still that happening? How is that still happening? Sorry, I'm getting emotional.
We can go deep. We can, yeah. We can. That could be a whole thing.
I'm getting passionate, bro.
I've always loved your passion, and I've always loved that you always held space for me as a filmmaker. And from filmmaker to filmmaker, like going from the trajectory that we started off back in New York 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about community, and you're bringing a film festival
Yes.
to the community, a community that you did not grow up in. Like, you're in Palm Springs, right? And why? Like, tell me about this festival. What can people find at Official Latino?
Well, what people can find on Official Latino is a curation of the best films that American Latinos produced in the United States this year, right? So that's why it's at the end of the year, because we actually curate, all the filmmakers submit to the festival. We pick out the best. You know, your film's got to be complete, from acting to directing to quality of film. Everything has to be, right,
on par.
Top notch, right? So we put a group together, and what's happening is that for the first time, from east to west, from north to south in the United States, we have a festival that is putting us together in a platform that we get to see the power of what we're doing. There's people coming out of the festival like, I didn't know we're this good. Bro, like, the films are that good. You know, good enough that we attracted HBO before they went to the merger. And we licensed about 18 films.
Oh my God, congratulations.
To HBO, directly from the festival.
That's amazing. Congratulations.
That's how good they were.
And
they
then
are.
You're also mentioning that there's some Oscar qualifying festival films.
There's 3 Oscar qualified films. That means that they made it up the 200 top list that the Academy is actually now considering for the shorts. So 3 of those are in our festival now.
That is amazing.
Yes.
Congratulations.
So, and last year was 1. So that tells you now there's 3.
Yeah, so you're
know what I
growing.
mean? Exactly, and it's all American Latino, all United States based, and it's really important because we are not, the majority of us are not immigrants in this country.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of us are indeed Americans. You know, we're born here, we're raised here, and to be honest with you, we're the coolest shit that ever happened to this country, bro. I'm sorry, I'm unapologetically speaking, because we got sazon, we got sabor, we got music, we got culture, and we make movies, bro. And our actors are incredible, you know. So if they're not giving us a chance, then forget them too. You know what I mean? We're gonna make our own
Oh my God.
academy. You know what I
And
mean?
where can people find it? Like, we're here now. The festival's happening now. By the time this episode airs, the festival will be past. But how can people find you? How can people help?
OfficialLatino.com all across the board. Official Latino in all our social media.
Nice.
Right? So, and the reason why I picked official is because we're official. It's official, right? Like that's the
Exactly.
saying.
It's
Like,
a
yeah,
triple
it's
entendre. You know?
Exactly.
It's a seal of approval in the corporate rooms to the streets.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, officiallatino.com all across the board.
And I know, like, you're the founder of the festival, which means you're the father of the festival, and you can't pick your favorites. But for people who are watching and listening to the show right now, tell us what's the cross section like of the filmmakers, like the creators that are here. Like, you're talking about American Latino experiences and filmmakers. Like, what kind of people are making movies today that you have programmed?
Wow, man, what kind of people? You know what? Like, if you would have asked me this question 8 years ago, it would have been a different answer, right? But today, what I'm seeing is that our community is very prepared. Our community of filmmakers are scholars also. They're graduating from top film schools, from Columbia University to California universities to, they're coming prepared, right? And they're going through all these programs also from Sundance to Tribeca to the NALIP programs, and they're coming already with all the right equipment in the mind, right? Not just film equipment, but their minds are very equipped to, because film is not easy.
No, it's not.
Film is not like, you cannot just grab a camera and make a film. And I think that's what was happening 10 years ago, 12 years ago. We gravitated to the technology and we started writing. But right now, they're coming with stories, bro, that are written like novels.
Ooh.
Right? So add that first, because it starts in the writing. Understand how to write a movie, then put your crew together. So now you have best cinematographers, editors, and what I'm finding out, that some of them are meeting at the festival.
That's amazing.
Some of them are meeting at the festival, and they start, creating, and let's say, for example, they fly from Florida, or they fly from Texas, and they're like, hey, I didn't know you lived there, right? And they go back home, and then they connect, and they start producing.
And they continue the collaboration.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think the festival does really well. It's a networking and mentorship machine.
Nice. And what kind of genres do we have?
Everything. Everything, bro. We have drama, comedy, sci-fi. We have a really great sci-fi curation tomorrow. We have LGBTQ plus community. We have films. We have Native Indigenous.
That's
films.
amazing.
Yeah, because we are part Native, right?
Yeah.
Our conquistadores were trying to tell us that we were a native. They created a label for us to feel and get away from a Native Indigenous heritage.
Yeah, we got rebranded.
So we have to rebrand that, and we have to acknowledge our ancestors, that we are part of that lineage as well, right? We have celebrating our Black voices. Also Block, which is a group of African American films and Afro-Latino films.
I also saw you have a horror section.
We have a horror section.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Latinos, we La Llorona and all that, and Chupacabra and all that shit, man. We were the original horror, and one of the legendary Cesar Romero.
Oh, the Joker. The
exactly,
Joker, yeah.
Cesar Romero, and also who was the director that directed Night of the Living Dead, the first one?
George Romero.
George Romero. So Cesar Romero and George Romero,
yes,
which were like also playing with that, sci-fi, supernatural.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. So we have that in our blood.
So you have this in-person part of the festival, right, the full experience, but you also have this ancillary digital experience. Mm-hmm. There's programs that people can watch online who can't travel to be here. Well, tell us a little bit about the digital part of the festival.
The digital part of the festival is a really special one. It includes the new media, right? New media, which means a lot of our webisodes and episodic films that our Latino cohort is creating here in the U.S. And we also have the international component. So you're going to see films from Chile, from Argentina, from Mexico, right? So because a lot of those films are really excellent. Some of those films, we could learn a lot from our cinematic family from our countries, right?
Nice.
So we give them also a space and welcome them. Eventually, we're going to have them in the festival as well, like in person. So what's that? That's what the online program is. It's a special group of films that you can go and watch and, judge also. Like
That's
you
amazing.
can actually act. There's a competition.
Yeah, my friend Ana is nominated for Frustrada, so
Yeah,
this is how I kind of ended up here at the festival.
Yeah, she's it's a hilarious comedy sketch, right?
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, yeah.
I was looking at the program last night and I saw that there's a RZA movie.
Oh no! Well, that's it's
non-competition.
Yeah, it's non-competition. I directed a music video for the RZA, right? It's a Wu-Tang, and I like to share. Like right now, hey, listen, I'm spending a lot of time curating the festival, so I like to share some of my work, but no competition, right?
That's amazing because you're bringing stuff to the festival, you're bringing stuff to the community, but you're also like honoring your own efforts in your own space to show your own work, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm part of the family, bro. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? I like to let the filmmakers know that we want to share and aspire for bigger things, right? So. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for making time for us. What can people do for next year's festival? Like for people who see this, filmmakers that want to submit, or people that want to come, or even sponsors that want to, what do we need to know about the 9th annual Official Latino?
Wow, next year, I mean, shoot your films, produce your films, work with the community. You know what I mean? Like tell your stories. We have 60 million stories in the U.S.
Damn.
60 million stories, man. We're not a small group of people. We shouldn't be 4% represented in front of the camera by the movie industry, right? 60 million people out there, and we are the ones that are buying a lot of tickets, right? So keep shooting your films. There's a new wave coming, right? The American Latino wave of filmmakers and stories the films are breathtaking. So support your local filmmakers. If you see that, a local filmmaker is putting together a screening in your town, go and see their films. Most likely you're only gonna spend $10, for a movie or $15 for a movie ticket. So go and support them. If they're fundraising, go and support them. Just be in touch with your community because we are the ones that are going to get that shift, right?
I believe in supporting your friends and all that, and that's why I've always loved and respected you because you were one of the few people in New York that really held space for me as a filmmaker.
Thank you.
From day one as I was still learning. Life has its way to be topsy-turvy and bring you back to square one. For me, square one is photography.
Really?
Right?
Okay.
For me, that's how everything started for me. You're a photographer.
Yes.
You've done so much work.
That was square one for me too.
Yeah.
That's definitely.
And if we could talk a little bit about that part of your life, just really briefly, in terms of photography, what was like the one part, what was the best experience you ever had as a photographer that solidified that this is what you wanted to do the rest of your life?
The first time that I was published, it solidified it for me. I will never forget it. I was just an aspiring young photographer taking pictures of my friends. At that point, being a photographer was expensive because you had to buy film and you had to process it. It's not like being a digital photographer today. All you need to buy is the camera and then boom, you're set. You can start taking pictures. But back then we needed something called film. And film, you had to buy it, you had to process it, you had to print it, and it was expensive. So for me, a way to actually, go around that was I got a film developer job. I was a printer in a lab in one of the most prominent labs in New York in like 1991, 1992. So I was developing everybody's film. So that gave me access to the lab. That gave me access to film. And, and when there was like 3 or 4 roll of films mal puestos, me los cogía. And I will go and take pictures, So it was a beautiful, coming of age experience in New York City to have access to something like that, because I went to the lab without knowing how to print, right? And when the owner of the lab was like, dude, you're too young to be a printer. You're like, how old are you, 19, 20? Most of the printers were 35 years old. And I was like, yeah, I know how to print. But I read the theory, right? But I never had the practice. So when he took me to the dark room, he was like, all right, make me a print. So I already kind of knew the theory, I read books and everything. So I was like, okay, this is the film. Here's the enlarger. Let me put it up in the enlarger. Put the film. That's the timer? He's like, yeah, that's the timer. All right, 4 seconds. Press the button, put the paper in, and and the picture came out perfect. And the boss was like, huh, all right, you got a job.
Nice.
And that was the beginning of my career. He gave me the first printing job, right? As I was, in a month, I was printing faster than all the 35-year-olds, and they were coming to me like, hey man, you gotta slow down. You're making us look bad. I know you're excited, but don't print more jobs than we do, because you gotta pace yourself. It's like, okay. Bro, I was done in 2 hours of my daily jobs, and I was doing all my own personal stuff.
Damn.
Yeah, to the point that I landed my first job with the Source magazine. They gave me a small group called House of Pain.
Yes.
When they were at the height of their career, would jump around. And bro, that thing was published in my first magazine, and I was like, I never looked back, bro. I was like, if I can make $60 a day, because that's what they pay me, I'll be rich.
Oh man, $60 a day. I'll be rich too, man.
Right?
Oh my God.
But think about it. That was the 90s. It was in 1991. Minimum wage was like $7.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
Yeah. So, you bring home $200-300, a week. $60 is kind of already almost half. So, I thought that, what? Shit, if I do 3 of these, in a week, I'll match.
Absolutely.
Stuff. And then the next check was $500.
Oof.
Then the next check was $1,000. I quit. When I saw my name with $1,000, I quit my job.
Oh my goodness. And now you're here in Palm Springs,
Yeah.
working in a museum.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, what an exciting journey. And I'm happy to have been part of your journey back in New York and now here. I feel so privileged to be reunited with you. And I want us to continue to be in each other's lives. You're a family man, you're an artist.
Thank you.
Just 2 more questions before we wrap it up.
Yes.
What's more important, talent or discipline?
Ooh, talent versus discipline. I believe everyone has talent. When you're a little kid, you come out with the crayons. Every child, right, starts to draw, right, starts to color, right. Every child, right, and somewhere along the lines, some of us take it more seriously, and some of us let it go, right? So talent is something that you have to nurture, and you have to have the discipline to practice every day, and practice makes perfect, right? So, I don't believe that just pure talent gets you there, right? Pure talent, most of the people that are very talented, that have accomplished something, best believe they were putting 8 hours a day. They were, practicing their piano, reading their books, writing, producing. They were putting a lot of work, and that's discipline. So I think it goes hand in hand, to be honest with you.
One of the reasons I appreciate that answer because I always feel that I've skirted through life on my talents, and late in life have I realized how important discipline is, and I feel that even learning the mechanism of discipline is a talent. Right, that commitment of every day. Like, I'm not gonna eat French fries today, you know, like that kind of thing, right? So one of the things, the reason I started this show, this podcast, is because I wanted to learn from people. I want people to learn from me, and I want our listeners and viewers to learn from the both of us. And one of the things that I've discovered is that creativity is my lifeblood, and that's why I'm doing this show, is how do we balance a well-examined life using creativity. So to land the plane, how has creativity been a tool for you?
Wow, man. Creativity has been pretty much the reason why I even have a platform, right? Like from day one, you know, I was a creative child, right, that practiced enough to get good, right? Because I was a photographer, right? And I was actually doing multi-million-dollar programs, right? Like, you know, these albums, you know, the Eminem album was 11 million sold.
Damn.
And my cover wasn't there. You know, the Wu-Tang Clan was like 3 million sold, and my album cover was there. I wish I would have got paid for every album it sold, you know what I mean? But, you know, it was work for hire, right? It was like they bought the rights to my picture to put it in their albums, right? So, I don't know if I answered your question.
Creativity, you're a creative child.
Yeah, so in terms of that, it actually solidified my career, being creative, but I embraced it too, right? There's a lot of people that at the very beginning, you know, they start working and then perhaps is not paying the bills right away, right? You know, and I tell every creative person that you have to continue because eventually the industry opens up to your creativity, right? And then you can make a nice living and provide. Like I provided for my wife and 4 children. You know what I mean? And they never, and it's all in the work that I do, right? So I tell young creatives, like, you know, don't lose sight and don't lose hope. Keep doing your creativity because eventually it's gonna pay off, right? So it's been a wonderful journey, and the beauty about being a creative is that, you know, you don't have to retire. You know, you don't have to retire. Like, you know, you have like Celia Cruz died, you know, performing on stage. You know what I mean? Musicians, they go all the way till the end, right? I mean, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Bro, Clint Eastwood did a movie last year, he's 90.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to go out like Clint Eastwood. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like just always filming and having been around, you know, until you can, right? So it's a long journey, right? And the thing I think that sometimes young people see a young talent, for example, take Jenny Ortega, for example, right? Jenny Ortega is the #1 Netflix show today on Netflix. But little Jenny has been performing for 12 years. You know?
Absolutely.
She's been grinding for 12 years. So now somebody that sees her on Netflix be like, wow, she's 20 years old and she accomplished all this already, right? It took her entire family to back her up.
For most of her life.
For most of her life to be at this point. It's 10 years. And they say it's about 10 years, right?
Yeah, 10 to 20.
Sometimes I compare it to you know, a lawyer or a doctor, right? A doctor has to go into medicine school, right? School for like 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years of training.
Before they even make money. You know, so they come out of high school, they go into 10 years of study, you know, and they don't see a dime. And by the time they graduate, they also owe like $250,000 in school, right? So, you know, why are we putting so much pressure on artists, that young artists, that they go in the first year, second year, and be like, you have to make money, when it takes a doctor 10 years to make money.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Put that in perspective.
That's
right?
true.
Give your children some time to develop their work, right? And I guarantee you, in 4 or 5 years, you're going to start seeing the fruit of that labor. Whatever you do, singing, acting, making movies, writing, dancing, it's eventually gonna bloom, right?
Absolutely.
So hope that answered your question.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my goodness, thank you so much, man.
No, thank you.
Thank you
Bruce,
for
man.
having
Thank
me.
You, my brother,
I know
man.
you have to
you
get
for
back
so
to people.
long, and I'm so happy that we're connected, and we'll see you in the gram.
Yeah, for sure. I look up to you.
Thank you,
I'll
my
take
brother.
all this
Thank
knowledge.
you, man.
I'll let you get back to the
you.
show.
I got 100 children right
exactly.
there.
Exactly. OfficialLatino.com. Stay tuned. Daniel Hastings,
All right,
everybody.
Man. Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Stepner Show.